Hello, my friends. These days, when we discuss the mathematics questions in the FIFA World Cup, we used a conclusion for several times, that is, the points scored by the first team in the group stage, has 6 possibilities. So what are the possible points for the second, third, and fourth team? Today we will discuss this question. First, let's find the maximum and minimum of the points for each team in theory, then for each of possible points, we discuss whether it is theoretically possible in terms of the game results, and at the end look at whether those cases have indeed taken place, in the real FIFA World Cup games from 1994 to 2018. Ready? Let's go. We start with the easiest one, the fourth team. The case of the minimum points is the easiest, where they lost all the 3 games, and score 0 points. When discussing the maximum, we can look at the total points of all the 4 teams, which cannot be more than 18. The first, second, and third teams cannot score fewer points than the fourth. So the maximum points for the fourth cannot be more than 18 divided by 4. And the largest integer is 4. Between 0 and 4, there can also be 1, 2 and 3. Next, we look at the third team. The case of the fewest points might be something like this. Together with the fourth, they lost to all the other teams, but the game between the third and fourth must yield some points anyway. Either the third wins and scores 3 points, or a draw, yields 1 point each. Obviously, 1 point is the minimum one. As for the case of the most points, the same method can be used as the discussion of the fourth team. It cannot be more than 18 divided by 3. So the largest integer is 6. There are 2, 3, 4, and 5 in between. What about second team? We use the same strategy as that for the discussion of the third team, and know the case of fewest points is like this. The second, third, and fourth all lost to the first, and the games between them all end in a draw, so each has 2 points. As for the most points, the top 2 are required to win the rest 2. And the top 2 have a draw, so each has 7 points. There are 3, 4, 5, and 6 in between. Now let's see if those options listed here actually exist in terms of the game results. Let's start with the fourth team as well. The situations of 0 points, and 1 points, correspond to 3 losses, and 1 draw and 2 losses respectively. Such situations have happened many times in real games, so we don't need to show examples here. 2 points means 2 draws and 1 loss. For example, draws with the first and the third. And 1 lose to the second. The third team has draws in all their games. And the second loses to the first. In this case, the fourth team scores 2 points, the third, 3 points. The second, 4 points. And the first scores 5 points. Regarding the example in reality, like the Group F in 2010. Now let's move on. In the case of the fourth team with 3 points, it can be 3 draws, or 1 win and 2 losses. One of the most special cases is that all games end in a draw, and all the 4 teams score 3 points. This is also the only case where the first team scores 3 points. But from 1994 to 2018, nothing like this really took place. But either the second, or the third with 3 points has indeed happened, which we have mentioned in the video last Tuesday. In the next case, the fourth team scores 4 points. Each team has 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss. And all of them have 4 points. This is also a very special situation, and it actually happened. And that was the Group E in 1994. The case of the third team with 1 point, as we have already said, is very straightforward in theory. But it only happened once in the real game, that was the Group H in 2006. 2 points means 2 draws, and this kind of cases has happened for many times. If the third team scores 5 points, it requires 1 win and 2 draws. For example, if they win the fourth, and has draws with the top 2. The second team also has at least 5 points then, 1 win and 2 draws or at least 2 wins. So they should also win the fourth. The first has at least 1 win and 2 draws, or 2 wins as well, so the only possibility is that the top 3 all win the fourth, and then they all have draws with each other, and the top 3 all have 5 points. This is theoretically possible, but in practice it didn't happen between 1994 and 2018. It however happened that only the second team scores 5 points. 6 points for the third team? It can be that the top 3 all win the fourth, and they win one game each in the games among them. So they all have 6 points. This case happened before, like them Group F in 1994. The second place scores 2 points. That's the example we showed last Monday. It's theoretically possible, but hasn't happened in a real game before. The second team has 7 points. As we just mentioned, the top 2 have a draw between them, and both win the other 2, and both of them have 7 points. For example, the Group F in 1998. 9 points for the first place. There are too many examples. Then, do you know, from 1994 to 2018, which team scored 9 points for the most times? Let's continue this topic tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.